Hello, I'm Pat Moores, Director of UK Education Guide. We're an independent portal that offers comparative and independent information about over 120 UK education providers. And I'm delighted to introduce today a video guide to Brooke House College, which is one of the institutions that we feature on the site. I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to introduce Mike Oliver, who's the principal of the college, a current parent of the college, and arguably most importantly, 2 current students. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mike, and we're going to ask him some questions that I hope will explain to you what makes Brooke House a great institution for you to consider. So first of all, I'm absolutely delighted to be able to introduce Mike Oliver, who's principal at Brooke House College. And Mike's going to kick us off today with an introduction to the college, and I've got a couple of questions I want to ask him, put him a little bit on the spot. So good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Pat. Good to see you again.
Lovely to see you too. So just got 2 questions. And the first question is about what makes Brooke House special. What makes it different from another boarding school? So we're going to really pin you down to 2 main reasons why you think Brooke House is different.
Oh, well, just the 2. Thanks for that, Pat. Well,
I can make it difficult.
No, that's fine. I would probably go for the outcomes for our pupils and the pupil welfare. I think they would be the 2. I think in terms of outcomes, we could evidence that with the progression of our boys and girls from Key Stage 3 into GCSE and A-level. Those who have joined into the intensive English program to master their English and move into the main school. Those leaving the school and going off to university, and those from the football academy going off to football clubs. So I think the progression through the school and those outcomes are excellent. We've done that within the academic program. We've done that by introducing baseline testing, personal academic tutors. We by design only have 8 pupils per class on average, and that really helps with the teacher pupil ratio. Successive years recently, last 3 or 4 years, we've improved our GCSE pass rate and A-level pass rate. And the residual value added has increased for the last 3 years. Within the football program, we've had, I think it's something like 10 current internationals. Wow. We have 4 national titles under our belt for the last few seasons, and loads and loads of scholarships to soccer scholarships, as they call it in America, for our pupils going there as well. So I think the outcomes are sort of special for us, really. Yeah, no, that's fantastic, and really, interesting to hear about the different ways of measuring outcomes. That's particularly interesting, and because I know Brooke House is known for its soccer, but hearing about other progression routes. So, so on to your second point then. Right, the welfare side of it. Well, to be honest, we concentrate a lot on that. I mean, it's a really important area to us. So we have sort of gender and age specific boarding houses, each with their sort of residential tutor team. We've added to that sort of portfolio of boarding houses recently. One of them being actually an historic hotel in town, which is of course really popular with people because they've got all these wonderfully splendid ensuite rooms. So not quite like the dormitories that I had in my day of boarding. In addition to that, we've added in a fantastic new medical centre and a wonderful school nurse, fully qualified state nurse. Mental health care, obviously with COVID just recently, and it being a topic that we obviously want to make sure is correct for our boys and girls. We've got a mental health practitioner. The care support around that has been really important. We have a fantastic counsellor. She's really on tune with the boys and girls, and a terrific independent listener. So I think that aspect of the welfare plus catering for the sort of, we're fully international. It's a very diverse community. So we do take on board things like special events for Chinese New Year, the care at the moment, obviously with Ramadan, I think that Diwali as well. and our international day, where some of the boys and girls dress up in their national costume, and some of the African girls with their colours. It's just a fantastic occasion. So all of that blends into our sort of welfare aspect.
That's brilliant. I think it's a flavour of home, isn't it? Sometimes that is so important, and particularly with young people that haven't been able to get home because of the pandemic. And I remember an article, and you gave me a wonderful quote about shipping in jasmine rice for a homesick Vietnamese girl who was missing the taste of home. And I've never forgotten that, because I thought that was, a really nice thing to do, because she was homesick and was missing. Food is so important, isn't it? And it's great that you celebrate all these events, but also go the extra mile to get, something particularly from home that helped with her homesickness. So the second question is really the future plans for the college. So what can parents and families expect in the future from Brooke House?
Well, despite it being a very, very difficult sort of 14 months, we are still looking to the future. Indeed, within a few weeks, we're hoping to have our new catering facility available, jasmine rice and all. We opened up our new science block earlier on in the academic year. That's splendid. Eight new labs, prep room and staff area and toilets. We're planning more classrooms. That's a must for us. We want to improve our stock there and add in the tech. One of the things that has come out of this last year or so, what we're calling COVID keepers, is that the sort of the use of high tech, really, much more tech than we've used before. And so the interactive boards and the platforms for things like parents' evenings. I did a parents' evening last week, and within the space of half an hour, I'd been talking to people from Tanzania, Australia, China, and Hong Kong, and one in Canada as well. So the platforms that allow us to have that, because of our fully international makeup, will all be used. And of course, we want to carry on building up our sports facilities. We have access to some amazing facilities now, but we would like to keep on improving that as well. So those are the aspects that we're looking forward to in the future.
That's fantastic. Cool. Mike, thanks so much. And it's great to catch up with you. And that's been really, really helpful, I'm sure, to everybody to better understand, get a real flavour for the college from the principal. So thank you so much.
Excellent. My pleasure. Thanks, Pat.
Take care. So I'd now like to welcome Siji to the video. Siji has a son, Christian, who is in Year 9 studying at Brooke House College and is on the football academy. So we're just going to ask Siji a couple of questions about, from the parent perspective, really, because we've spoken to Mike, but obviously a current parent provides a wonderful perspective for us and to explain about what Brooke House actually can offer. So Siji, good morning.
Morning, Pat. Morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. So the first question is just about Christian's academic development at Brooke House, and what's been the sort of standout things that you've noticed as a parent.
Okay, thanks. Like you mentioned, Christian, my son, is in Year 9. Is actually 13. Yeah. And the good thing about his educational development is the fact that, leaving home into a boarding environment gives you that opportunity for you to basically determine how you study. And one of the things that I think for him that Brooke House has done is to give him that independence where he can actually decide, okay, fine, this is what I want to do without all the pressures that comes with it, but being able to actually understand himself, understand what works for him, understand how best he can study, the kind of environment he needs to be able to study properly and things like that. So Brooke House has actually helped him to be able to own that particular area of his life. And it's quite interesting and quite good to see, the things that you take for granted when you are, maybe you're working, you're at home with your parents, you're going you have someone, to tell you what to do. And then when it is in your own space to determine what to do, you can see there's a shift. And I think for us, one of the things that we've seen is that shift in his thinking, that shift in responsibility and accountability to be able to take things on and say, you know what, I've got to do this, even though there's nobody behind me, you know, screaming and shouting that I should do it. And I think that's one of the best things that I think we've been able to see from there. And then also the class size. The class size is extremely small, which is good, and which gives every child the opportunity to engage with the teachers in a better way. And it also takes away that bit of students trying to hide. You really can't hide in a class of 8. In a class of 8 or 6, you really can't hide. So the teachers know you, they know who you are, they know what you do, and things like that. So I think that's really helped us.
That's fantastic. I think independent learning is one of the biggest challenges for young people, and whatever Christian decides to do, that will be amazing for him in terms of if he moves to university, and that understanding that how he learns and the style of learning that suits him best, and taking responsibility for that is crucial. So that's great to hear. So what about him? What have you noticed about differences in development in him as a young man now, 13? What personal differences have you noticed since he's been
like you know about teenagers, oh goodness me, they're just a wonderful I think one of the things that Brooke House has helped us with him in particular, which I'm really excited about, is Brooke House gives you the opportunity of engaging with 55 different nationalities. Now, in my opinion, that's 55 different cultures. 55 different ways of doing things, 55 different ways of looking at things. And for a young man like Christian at 13, that is him having to deal with 55 different circumstances every day. So it's taking him away from that siloed individual way of thinking of a teenager to where he has to be very accommodating, you know, with different people. Managing different cultures, different ways of looking at it, because you're looking at the world through the lens of 55 different nationalities and cultures.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And I think for him, that is just so great. And then when you look at that also on the flip side, when it comes to football, he's playing with 55 different good footballers from different parts of the world who are playing for their national teams and things like that. So, I mean, anyhow you look at it, it's just a wonderful, great experience for a young lad at 13. And I can just imagine where that would leave him when he's 18, 19, 20. His view of life, his view of the world will be totally different from...
Oh, absolutely.
From a child who has been, you know, who's been able to sit in that silo or that individual space where you can find all I know is just those around me, to someone who can look at the world through the lens of 55 different nationalities. It's just
it's absolutely amazing. I think, you know, it's just wonderful in terms of how it builds tolerance and consideration, and also, you know, helps a young person see their place in the world, not just in Britain or, you know, London or wherever. You know, it's that, you know, we're trying to... One of the great things about boarding schools should be about global citizens, shouldn't it? About taking that knowledge and whatever work or sporting endeavor you take on, you go into that with that global perspective, which can only be good for us all, really.
That's absolutely true. And I think one other thing, the last one, if I could just drop that in, is the fact that he's developed so much and understands responsibility now. But before he left home, we had to always chase him to do things, or you tell him to do things, and then, you know, he goes off, you know, with some kind of grumbling behind it. But but since he's gone off and he's been back, when you ask him to do things, he actually just gets up, gets on with it, and gets that responsibility going. So I think that's one thing he's done, built his responsibility and his ability to be accountable.
That's fantastic. Well, Sidji, thank you so much for taking the time. We're so grateful, and it's a unique perspective, is the parent perspective, and so rarely heard. So thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Danielle. Bye.
Bye. So the third section of the video today is possibly the most exciting. So we have two current pupils at Brooke House College joining us. So we've got Ryan from Hong Kong and Freddie from Australia, and they're both in year 9 and are both football academy players. So welcome to you. Hi, Freddie, and hi, Ryan. How are you today?
Hello. Hello. I'm all good.
Yeah.
Great. It's really good to see you. So we've got 2 questions for you today, and so the first question, to put you on the spot, is, so tell us about what's the good things about boarding school life at Brooke House.
So independence and maturity. So being away from your parents, obviously that makes us more responsible. Boarding school also makes us prepare for university.
Definitely, yeah.
Independence and maturity also makes us more responsible. For example, washing, laundry, and going to the supermarkets in the weekends.
Brilliant.
This makes us more reliable, and we don't have to rely on our parents to do everything for us.
Yeah. That must be quite a change, mustn't it? From, like, you know, food arriving in, because you shop at the weekends then, so you could get your food at the weekends when you're...
Yeah. Another great aspect is hanging out with friends. So normally in a normal school, you're only allowed to see your friends for about 7 to 8 hours a day. But in Brooke House, friends are always around you. Even after school, in football training, friends are always with you. And that creates more relationships every single day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And also meeting so many people from different countries as well must be really exciting.
Yeah. Another great aspect of boarding school is there's no school buses.
Yeah. Hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So normally students have to wake up about 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And they have to take a school bus for an hour and a half just to get to school. But in boarding school, we have more sleep. We can wake up at 7:30.
That's good.
Yeah. This means that we have more sleep time and we can concentrate on studying more in the afternoon and also in football.
Yeah, because you've got a busy schedule, haven't you, with football and academics? So I know you work really hard, but you must be really fit as well with all the football you're playing, and that's fantastic. Thanks, Ryan, and it's really good to hear, because I know where Brooke House is, and I know the town, and I know the distance from the college to the supermarket, and it's a good, safe place for you to be able to explore being independent, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
So just moving on to the next question then. So what do you think you'll remember about Brooke House 10 years time? What do you think will be it's really hard, I know, because it's like we all live in the moment, don't we? But if you can imagine what you might remember about Brooke House in 10 years time, when what would you be then? Sort of like 23, 24. What do you think you might remember about your time then?
I mean, there's probably a lot of things that I would remember, but I think the main ones will be like Ryan said, the independence, like new life skills that we wouldn't have learned before, like with our parents, because we would have had food on the table and our laundry done for us.
Yeah.
But here we have to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not at home. We have to cope without our parents, and we have friends around us to help us with that and any other problems.
Yeah, you probably remember some of the tough times that that your friends helped you get through, and so some really happy things, but also like that reflection that really strong bonds. I would imagine really strong friendships that that you'll probably. It would be great if you're still friends when you're 23, 24. You might be in different parts of the world, but it would be awesome to think you're still, friends in 10 years' time. I hope you would be, and. Yeah, it's really interesting. So you've enjoyed life in Market Harborough.
Yeah, it's a really good town, really safe. We always feel welcome,
That's good.
It's I mean, another aspect will be the football, of course. We come here every day, and I mean that's what we all enjoy.
Yeah.
I think I remember one time we were playing a match and we were 3-0 down. We won 4-3 just in the second half, and I scored the equalizer, and was probably one of the best days of my life, and Brooke House created that for me, you know.
That's amazing.
And I got to share that with my friends as well. It's amazing. And also,
sporting memories are really important. I remember things from school, you know, matches. Sorry, I interrupted you. You carry on.
Yeah, and also the field trips when we used to, you know, pre-COVID, we used to go to the theme parks like Alton Towers and stuff like that, and the football matches. It was just amazing.
Lots of memories. Oh, that's really brilliant to hear that. And I think, like I was saying, I think the sport is such a brilliant thing that it's such an intense experience, isn't it? And you're in it with your mates and your teammate, and you don't forget that. You don't. I can still remember things from my school days, and as I was saying, I hope you remember that. I'm sure you will, and I hope you're still good friends when you're 23, 24, wherever you may be in the world. So thank you so much. That is such a brilliant insight. And, you know, I know it's been a tough time with COVID, but great to see that you're both, you know, still smiling and are still enjoying your life in Market Harborough, and wish you loads of success for the future. And thank you so much for joining us today and giving us your thoughts. So take care. Take care. Bye now. Bye.
Bye.
So in this final section of the video, we're just going to try and recap on a few points that Mike, the principal, Siji, the parent, and Freddie and Ryan, the pupils, have highlighted, and to just provide a little bit more context about Brooke House College. So the 3 points we want to really raise are around location of the college. Brooke House is located in the centre of England in a market town called Market Harborough. The college is centrally located. And so when Freddie and Ryan talk about being able to go and do shopping, the college is 200 yards from the major supermarket. It's in a very safe environment. So it's building independence, but within a very safe setting. And that's something that is really a hallmark of Brooke House and its integration into a market town in England. The second point is about the international nature of Brooke House. So Brooke House is predominantly, almost exclusively, a boarding school with over 50 nationalities. So picking up on what Siji said, is the opportunity for his son is to experience this amazing melting pot of cultures, and for Christian to really get a sense of his place in the world, but truly his place in the world, surrounded by pupils from many different countries and many different cultures. And that is quite a unique aspect of Brooke House, is the sheer number of nationalities that are represented at the college. And the third point is really about how Brooke House has adapted its offer to meet the needs of international families. So it offers a full pre-sessional English programme, which allows pupils to then enter the mainstream curriculum with confidence, and ongoing English support is available. Also, the college has adapted its offer to offer now a foundation programme for pupils around age of 17 to then be able to progress to university via a one-year foundation that also, again, includes English support. So at all times, Brooke House is responding to the needs of international families to offer a really adaptable offer to them. So that's our sort of summary of Brooke House, and we really hope you've enjoyed this video. We hope that you've enjoyed hearing from voices that sometimes maybe aren't heard so loudly. So back to the wonderful Siji and his input, and Freddie and Ryan, who have added real colour and perspective to what we're offering. So final thanks to all of them, and Mike and the college, for their support, and we hope you found this really useful. Okay. Take care. Bye for now.